One thing I've noticed camping with other people, the little fixes make the biggest difference. Today you'll see the small tweaks campers use that actually make camping easier. We've always kept this channel independent and unbiased, but independence still requires gasoline and campground fees. So a big thanks to eTrailer for supporting the channel and helping keep our reviews honest and free from brand influence.
Welcome to our Clam. This is really, a lot of vestibule owners have them, and they make everything about being in the vestibule work so much better. Especially now it's raining and we got a nice place to hang out. But one very simple thing that we came up with that works great is we get parachute cord, and then you can tie it like this side of the Velcro strip and just kind of go around and then cross zigzag. And now you can hang wet towels from here, but mostly our bug zappers can hang there. And these zap bugs, but it also provides plenty of light here to play cards or whatever at night. Now it's become kind of a permanent part of the Clam.
And you and your wife, Jim, were telling me about using these bug zappers in your trailer too.
If you're in a lot of mosquitoes and you just get into the vestibule really quick, some mosquitoes follow you in there. So we just hang one of these in there when we're trying to go to sleep, and then the mosquitoes go and they get zapped on that little purple light there. Here's how bright it looks here, but it really works nice in the Clam.
Solar powered or battery powered bug zapper and a combination light, and it actually works. The dead carcasses of the mosquitoes prove it. So it's not like a bug zapper, which was like the lights in the neighborhood go down.
Yeah. This is like a quiet death.
Yeah.
I've noticed the best campers don't go all in on the newest tech. Modern USB rechargeable gear is great, but it's always smart to have a backup that doesn't rely on your main battery, and a few traditional pieces of camp gear that have stood the test of time.
Okay, Gary, everybody's going with USB charged everything lately.
Oh,
Why'd you choose this Coleman? What does it have?
It was the
D
right
batteries?
size. It has 3D batteries in it.
Kind of the beauty of that is you can carry a backup of D batteries with you.
And we do. Yeah.
And it's that's strong. Like, what year was that built? It feels like old Coleman. It's heavy.
Yeah. I doubt it's going to say.
But it's not new, right?
No, I've had this for quite a long time. Oh, it's got two levels.
Oh yeah, that's bright. And then you gotta check out this percolator. This percolator right here is from 1970.
Oh, probably about 1974, 75. They don't make them anymore.
And you can add a plug to this that converts this to 12 volt. So this can be pretty efficient, and it's built like a little tank, and they've been using this to not only heat their water, but heat water for dishes too, right? And I like these lights too.
Yeah, I think I picked those up at Best Buy, and they just kind of randomly change colors.
And the beauty, they're not hardwired into your trailer.
No, they're just battery powered.
Running
I
off
stuck
this
them up with some
battery pack.
Velcro.
I bet at night this gives a good ambience.
It does, it really does. We have another set like this in the camper too, which is just a nice dim light, little ambient.
How long do you think those batteries last on something like this?
Probably forever, I don't know.
Yeah,
we got this, when was that wedding? 7 years ago, 8 years ago? We got it at a friend's wedding, and that's the original batteries in it.
Camping in the shoulder season is our favorite, but cold temperatures can sneak up on you fast. This is where small campers really shine. One of the perks of being in the small camper club is how quickly these little trailers heat up.
One of the things we really like when we're in cooler weather is to have these 12-volt electric blankets. We went with a name brand, Sealy, just to make sure that we had a reputable product and we could call the company if we had any problems. The power is removable here, and you can toss it in the washing machine. It's got some specific washing instructions, cool water, line dry, that kind of thing. But it is washable. And you've got the 12-volt connection, so it's real handy. And we can be off-grid, not attached to shore power, and still get the warmth. It doesn't suck a lot of power, or we can be on-grid and be safe. It's got 3 settings. If you press it 3 times, you cycle from low to medium to high heat. and it really warms us up. It's been great.
So this little heater is only 500 watts, and the beauty of this is that there is a thermostat in it. So they set it, it'll go on and off at night and maintain that temperature in the cabin. And at 500 watts, that's going to work with most of your power stations.
Yep.
Thank you.
Actually, we can't put it on max in there.
It just gets too hot.
It gets too warm in there.
Yeah.
I love campground tips and tricks, but honestly, half the battle happens before camp is even set up. There are some simple solutions for hooking up, moving, and leveling your trailer that make the whole process easier.
All right, Tim, I see you've painted the front of your tongue yellow.
I did. I saw that on Facebook. Somebody else had done it.
So this is pretty smart. If you're backing up using your backup camera to attach your ball to the receiver, if the receiver is black, it can be really hard to line it up, especially in shade or low light conditions. So this guy just painted this front yellow.
Okay, this is the trailer valet, and it's a mechanical assist that allows you to move your trailer, and it does the typical adjustments for vertical alignment. You can move the trailer by hand with a hand crank. Conversely, if you got a long ways to go, you can use a portable electric drill and socket, and it will power the tandem wheels in the direction that you aim. It's steerable in 360 degrees, basically, and can power up a gentle incline, and allows individual campers on their own to be able to maneuver the trailer without any assistance.
So you said bad backer. Tell me the truth. Why did you buy this?
We are bad backers.
So you do. You just back this in as good as you can get it.
Yeah.
You unhook and then you let it do the work.
Yeah. Commercial truck drivers say that this is really difficult to back because it's so short.
Exactly.
And it's prone to jackknifing.
They're squirrely.
Yeah.
You have to be very patient, very slow. Why
Which is
not just unhook it and let it do the
my
work?
defining characteristics. These are solid rubber wheels, so you don't have to worry about inflation.
For those of you towing with a 2-inch ball like me, here's a simple upgrade I've been using for years. When Tommy and Andre from TFL Off-Road towed our original Beanstalk, they noticed a little play between the hitch ball and the coupler. They suggested I try a Gen Y glider, but I quickly found small campers are too light to really engage those rubber shock absorbers. What I ended up using instead is the Curt rocker ball. It's about 5 times cheaper than the Gen Y, and it's light duty enough to actually work with our small teardrops. What you notice is subtle, but you really appreciate it. That rattling and rocking you normally feel when accelerating, braking, or hitting speed bumps just isn't there anymore. Do note it sits about 1.5 inches taller than a standard ball, so you may need a little more drop. You can check it out at etrailer.com or linked in the description below.
This is how we level out our camper. It came with the camper. We bought our camper used. So we've used it a couple times this last trip, and just to level out from side to side. We've been able to drive up onto this side and get a nice level, and then we shove this piece underneath.
Chalk it up right there,
Yep.
yeah.
And it stays, and it's worked great. We've had nice level sleeping, so.
And those that have followed the channel, we've used this for over 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're great. The only thing is, you might run out of height. That's it.
Yeah, so far, when we were out in Fish Creek Campground in Glacier, it was pretty,
You're
we had to
hitting
go
the
up
very
a hill
top.
to get into our campsite, and so it was, but we got it nice and level. So.
Yeah, you can get it shoved in there.
Yep.
I like the ball leveler. To me, it serves 2 functions. It's wheel chock, and it's super easy to level your trailer out. And I've had it up to almost as high as the screw goes.
That's what I was going to mention. I love how high it can go.
It really gets high. And in a pinch, if you wanted to, I guess you could chain it so that it would also kind of give you a little security. Somebody's going to have to mess with it.
Oh, that's a good thought.
But ultimately, if somebody wants something, they're going to get it.
When you have a ball leveler, when you're doing like boondocking, You can get that beautiful view on the river or lake because you can get this tire
So you
up.
can get it high up.
Yep.
I like the fact that it's a 3/4 inch socket, which is the same as my lug nuts. So, you know, I like to make something do more than one function.
Yes.
So my breaker bar, if I have to, or my socket, whatever, it does both.
So yeah, the Trimax, I mean, who doesn't have one of those? It's a good deterrent. I found out about it watching Cosmo Weems videos on YouTube years and years ago, but it's a nice, easy thing to put on. It's easy to take off, and you toss it in the tongue box and you're good to go. And it's just there. It's nice for anybody walking by that might have bad intentions to see that it's going to make things a little more difficult for them to do something, and can't stop them, but at least you can
slow them
down. That's the thing. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
And this wouldn't be a Playing with Sticks video without a few smart trailer modifications. Doesn't take much to make camp life run a little smoother. One of the easiest ways to do that is by making the trailer your own.
As we age, our eyes are more sensitive to lights. And Vestibule is famous for their lights, and they're bright lights. And so we've modified things. One is here. We've put covering over this light, and if we need to, it's Velcroed on. You can take it right off. So you have a little dimmer light.
And I like how it fits the theme of the vestibule. It's not like just sticking some orange tape over it.
Right, yeah. And some other lighting dimming techniques we've used. I did insert some kind of a material in here to dim this one, but we also have, and it's hard to see from here, but another one of the things is these window covers that a friend of ours made for us.
And those are holding up with?
Velcro, of course. Velcroed on. On the far side there, you can see we have a cover on that light also.
So we have these little shelf divider thingies, and they're made perfectly to fit right here. And then you can slide them so that things don't move too much. We've got one back there. We've got 3 of them. And they basically just keep things from sliding on the shelves. And these are 3D printed by our friend Tim. And then he has them in all the different colors to go with your vestibule, whichever one you want. And then we also have these little things. These go in the windows inside the cabin where the thing comes out to open your window. Sometimes bugs get in there. So Tim made these so that they fit perfectly into that little hole, and then bugs can't get in.
And I'll link Tim's website. I think he has an Etsy account and a Facebook.
Yep.
But these are something, if you guys have a 3D printer at home, you guys can do as well for your trailers.
Yep.
The wood in here is so beautiful with the vestibule. And one of the things I didn't care for as much was they have sliding doors with this melt plastic. And so they slide over and close this off, but they still let light through. Always wanted to make a tambour door, one of those roll top desk things, and never had, so I looked on the internet, looked at YouTube, and it's relatively easy. If you've got a little bit of woodworking skills, it's something that you can do. I found for about $15, $20 the little plastic track that you put the tambour into, and then it comes with a dowel rod with a spring on it. So all you do is then buy the door, which is a little pricey. They run usually $100 to $200 for the replacement door. But I found that with some woodworking stuff, you can find all the instructions online. For $10, I went to Menards and got some wood, and it was a fun project. I mean, yeah, probably 10, 12 hours that I put into it. So it's a little bit of work, but it's rewarding when you get done. So I haven't had a chance to wax the guides yet, so it's a little stiff, but I think once I wax it, we're gonna be in good condition. So our first trip out, I had my wife try this way, and she said, I don't like it. I'm sleeping with my head down here at the headboard, and I said, okay, that's fine. Then I'm gonna put a shelf down here, because you never have enough shelves and space for storage. And so I built this, and I designed it to come out enough so that I can put a water bottle, and when we put the curtain down at night, the water bottle doesn't run into the curtain and jam things.
What about foot room? How does it feel?
No problems at all, because I'll just give you, once you're under there,
yeah,
you got plenty of foot room.
This is just a small fragment of what's waiting for you in this playlist right here. Countless ways campers make camping easier, and none of them repeat. Click right here or head to the link in the description to start making camping easier so you can see why life's simpler outside.